Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's the 3rd of November and welcome to HAZEL webinar number 4, Hydrogen Application and Use. We welcome all of our attendees from wherever we are in this COVID-induced pandemic under restrictions that vary across Europe. But one thing we have is webinars and IT. We can reach out, engage and work with our audience and work with our people. Today's webinar is the 4th in the HAZEL series, Hydrogen-Enabled Zero-Emission Supply Chains. I'm Paul McCormack. I'm the Innovation Manager in Belfast Metropolitan College and the Project Coordinator for GenComm, Generating Energy Secure Communities, using hydrogen as an energy vector from bio, solar and wind. The bio pilot run by Pure Energy in the Hebrides, the solar to hydrogen pilot run by ETSIS in Saarbrücken in Germany, and the wind to hydrogen pilot run by Energia in Northern Ireland. A hybrid of renewable energy pilots looking at hydrogen and driving hydrogen to meet our energy solutions moving forward. So as I said, today is our 4th in the HAZEL series. We have a great lineup of speakers. Reinhard Tassel from AVL in Austria will talk about low temperature fuel cells. Professor Neil Jewett, University of Ulster, hydrogen powered hybrid heat pumps. Richard Halsey from Energy Systems Catapult will talk on the role of hydrogen in a net zero energy system and for the potential for hybrid heating systems in existing homes. And Mark Walsh from Energia will address hydrogen in a net zero energy system. At the end of each of the presenter section, we'll have some questions and answers and a main question and answer session at the end. But we invite all of the attendees to use the chat function within Webinar Jam, pose your questions, keep the webinar as interactive as possible. It's difficult for us when we are presenting. We can't see the audience, we can't engage. The only engagement tool we have is through the chat function. And we ask all the attendees, put your questions up. We'll address them during the webinar or at the end of the Q&A. And those questions we don't get to, we will get the panel to address those and we'll email them out. So folks, on your toes, let's engage. Let's make sure the next hour and 20 minutes is as interactive as possible. As we go down our HAZEL route, as Europe now looks to a green recovery post-COVID and to look at zero carbon as some of our solutions, we use a term in GenComm and HAZEL called hydrogen renewables. The GenComm and HAZEL projects are pathfinders on the net zero journey for Europe. We're working with other projects to help Europe navigate its journey to sustainability. We use green hydrogen as the true north on our net zero strategy compass. How we address the heating industries, transport, mobility, reducing the carbon footprint, weaning Europe off fossil fuels and greening our energy footprint, changing our energy solutions to meet our energy needs. In this our 4th HAZEL webinar, the speakers will highlight the potential of hydrogen renewables, clean green hydrogen from renewables, and how these applications will play a pivotal role in realising Europe's climate objectives, how we meet the Paris Agreement and other targets that Europe have laid down. How clean green hydrogen from renewables, hydrogen renewables will play a pivotal role in realising these objectives. Green hydrogen. We've been working in GenComm this last 6 years with our industry partners, Energia, Pure Energy, and the other partners, how we address this, how we use hydrogen from renewables to produce that clean CO2 zero footprint. We believe it's a key energy vector that can and will assist Europe reach climate targets. We want to make sure that it enables massive decarbonisation of industry, heat, power generation and the transport sectors. Global demand for hydrogen is forecast to reach 50 million tonnes within 4 years. And there's a potential that up to 60% of this will be green hydrogen from renewables and allow greater renewable penetration into our energy system. We believe that Europe is at a tipping point. A year ago, total capacity in green hydrogen projects was 3.2 gigawatts. By August 2020, this was more than quadrupled to 15 gigawatts. By 2040, the cost of green hydrogen will have fallen by up to 64%. But the rapid decline in cost in some places could be competitive even before that. As soon as in 2025, in Germany, for example, green hydrogen is expected to compete with hydrogen from fossil fuels by 2035 on a cost basis. These are the changes that are happening across. HAZEL and other projects are looking at how can we validate more opportunities of P2X spectrum, the power to what? Within smart hydrogen and within GenComm, We're looking at power to transport, P2T, power to industry, P2I, and power to mobility, important, P2M. How do we now look beyond that, using smart H2? How do we optimize and get the greatest return for that power generation, for that power vector? And how do we develop new commercial and technical opportunities? We're at the cusp of an evolution, and we're looking at smart H2, green hydrogen, hydrogen renewables as a sustainable energy future for a green Europe. I said at the start, folks, we like the presentations of the webinars to be interactive as possible. And here's the first thing we have for you, for the audience, is an audience poll to get you on your toes, so to say. How do we now work with different people? How do we now get your thoughts to inform the different speakers coming up? And the audience poll there, and it's now live on your screen, is how can Europe prosper from the hydrogen evolution? Is it increased research and development? Is it investment in infrastructure? Is it development of a wider manufacturing base? Is it developing skills and training, or is it all of the above? Take a couple of minutes, please, and give us your thoughts. How Europe can really prosper from this. What are your thoughts? Is it research and development? Do we need greater infrastructure development? Do we need a wider manufacturing base with a closer supply chain to the source? The skills and training, is that a hindrance? Do we need to develop that, or all of the above? Your thoughts now will help shape the speakers coming, and they will use this in their presentations and refer to this. And at the end of the webinar, we'll come back to the poll to see, have your thoughts changed, or are you still along the same line? Interestingly, 60% think it's everything: research and development, manufacture, infrastructure, and skills and training. Whereas the biggest below that is infrastructure, the 20%. How do we deploy the hydrogen? How do we get the hydrogen out to the public? How do we work that moving forward? So we'll give it another 30 seconds. I'm just looking at the numbers here changing. Increased R&D at 10%, investment in infrastructure 20%. The manufacturing base, importantly, we're looking here, there's no interest there. How do we get that within Europe? How do we get the opportunities to grow our green economy and provide the jobs that are needed? Skills and training is 6%, and all of the above at 60%. We'll close the poll there, but as we said, the speakers will come to that and refer back to that as we go along. Thank you for that. As I said, our webinars are based on the HAZEL project we're working on. Hydrogen-enabled zero-emission supply chain, built on the 4 pillars of hydrogen production, hydrogen sustainability, hydrogen application and usage, and hydrogen safety. These are 16 projects, all industry-led, with leading industry from across Europe, including Bosch, Energia, Wrightbus, and RISE. How we develop these opportunities and make sure that Europe is able to grasp the opportunity, not just for energy growth and zero CO2, but to increase our manufacturing base. The new green jobs, millions of jobs that are forecast to be developed across Europe, making sure we engage with this sector. HAZEL is there because as the EU embarks on its new economic recovery post-COVID, there's a real opportunity for everybody to engage in this truly green recovery. Clean green hydrogen from renewables. Hydrogen renewables will play that role. We can optimize the gas networks across Europe. We can optimize the hydrogen opportunities, and as I said, open up all the P2X options to drive technical solutions, economic solutions, and social solutions for a just transition to the green economy. The European Green Deal that was announced establishes the roadmap to transform the European economy based on the green transition. The Green Deal has been used as a catalyst for green growth by the European government, and most governments are following the line set by it. Now with the EU recovery package, the EU Commission has shown its determination to allocate available resources to future sectors of clean energy, efficiency and mobility.